Good morning, trading fam. We are live. All right, so we just took a couple of trades on the NQ. All right, not very smart. I just jumped in here. First day, you got those first day jitters, but we ended up making it back. First things first, what do you guys see? If anybody's here, let me see here. Bachi, good morning. I could see you here. Awesome. Can you hear me? If you could just say yes in the chat or if you're live with me, that'd be awesome. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and roll. I don't know if anybody's here on YouTube or not. So we took a few trades on the NQ. Again, I don't really want to teach the strategy in the live trading, but I did do a lot of talking in there. But I just really basically traded to trade, to take a few trades with them live. Now, one thing I haven't shown you guys yet or discussed is one of the biggest reasons I love Tradovate, and that's because of this right here. All right, I didn't bring that up yet. I didn't want to overwhelm you, but they have something called the Performance Center. All right, now the Performance Center shows you all your trades for the day. All right, so this was the live trading. Now, on that live trading, I traded the NQ because it's going to make more money quicker than you can make it with the MNQ, and I only have 30 minutes I'm going to be live trading with, so I made it relatively quick. But the largest losing trade was $105. Largest winning was $170. So basically, we just kind of gave back half of what we made. And again, this was just day number one. But I love how it shows you your win rate, your losing trade rate. It shows you your max drawdown, right? The max drawdown is something that you should be familiar with if you're going to try and get a funded account, because they have max drawdowns on the funded accounts. And again, all you would need to get in a funded account is to get the parameters to pass and then come and practice on your own. Don't pay to practice. I can't believe people actually do that. And I see the same people on these groups every day. I failed another account, I got to reset it, and they charge you like $100 each time to reset it. They're doing it because, that's how they're funding traders, with all the losing traders who keep resetting their accounts to practice. But again, I don't think like most other people, but why would you pay to learn how to trade? Or why would you pay to try and pass a funded account when you could practice, go to their website, get the parameters for passing, come back to your practice site, and just keep practicing. Once you can pass and meet the specifications of their funded account, go back, fund it one time, and pass. Get funded, if that makes sense. But anyhow, this is the Performance Center is awesome. These are the results from the live trading on the NQ. And then we have the MNQ and the results here as well from this morning. But if you watch the live from this morning, this one, nope, that's the same one. Oh, maybe it's all tied together. Yeah, it's all tied together, I guess. No, can't be. Is it? I never did two, so let's just see. Because right now we are up. Okay, yeah, so that included everything. Because right now we're looking at our total profit and our gross P&L. All right, and then the total loss. All right, so that's okay. Yeah, so this includes everything. So yeah, that's awesome. I absolutely love this feature of Tradovate. All right, so what do we got here? Let's shrink this back down to size. All right, so we have our range, right? This morning in the pre-market prep, which I did around 2 something this morning, what I pointed out was, hang on one second. All right, so what I pointed out was this rounding bottom that we have, right? I wanted to let that one contract run all day. And in the pre-market game plan, I also went over setting everything up. And what we're looking for, we drew off our support, resistance, and all that. But this is the learning group, so I can go over that again. Let me get my A-ray lines here. These are the areas we're looking for today. We don't have much on the economic calendar today. Let's look at that, because that's where we should start. And this morning, I was on tomorrow's economic calendar. I went and looked a week ahead. Okay, so we can't add the alerts. They're in 30 minutes. But we only have that's Europe. We got the same thing. We got the bill auctions, and then the monthly budget statement. The New York Empire State Manufacturing already passed. So there's really not much on the calendar for this entire week. All right? Really nothing at all, but it is earnings, right? We kick off earnings this week. So that's what has the potential to move the markets. Next week we have S&P Global Services PMI again. That's going to be a big market mover. But as for today and this week, we don't have anything major coming up. We just have earnings to focus on. So I'm actually looking for at least a push up into this area, right? Possibly this one, and possibly to come back and test Friday's highs, right? We had 2 pretty big sell-off days in a row. Like I said, if the market was going to continue to sell off, I think we would have seen it over the last couple of weeks. So we drew off our areas here. This one was coming from an area much higher above us. All right. And then we drew off our area this morning. Again, I always let my lines crisscross applesauce, because once we come up, they tend to like to respect them. Once we break them, they like to respect them in this aspect as well. All right, this is why I always crisscross applesauce. You guys saw that just from last week. So this morning we had several ranges. Here, this is where I got in this morning with these 3 contracts. We only took 3 contracts, and I left them on here. We entered right here. Again, this was when I first turned everything on this morning. All right, there was really no rhyme or reason to that other than I knew we were heading up this morning. So I didn't care where I got in. We had a rising 20, right? We could have done this number here and then just continued up. So I got in. We have a rising 20, and then when we, at the London Open, the 3 a.m., right? So this here was actually at 120. Man, I was up early today. Yeah, that's right. And then I got breakfast in this area. And I think I went live here. But anyhow, at the London Open, what'd they do? They came back to clear out anybody that was going long, just to bring it right back up again. So knowing that, I added 2 right here. And let me see if we could open that up so you could actually see the 2. You see these 2 little blue lines? I added on that green bar up. Okay, that's where I added. And then we sold right here. See the orange dot? And right here. Now, why did I sell there? I sold this one because we kind of had that double hump right here. So I put 1 there. And then 1 I put right here. Remember, I don't like to hold contracts very long. And that was actually holding them long for a decent amount of time. Again, because, you know, I felt we were going up today, right? I've been feeling that for a while now, right? That we're going to continue this upward trend. If they were going to sell off, they would have done it by now. We're coming into earnings, right? If it's going to sell off again, it'll probably be after the earnings, right? And again, we have the end of the month in 2 weeks, and they want to balance their books, right? So they like to bring it up, you know, the physical quarters of the month. So what do we see here, guys? All right, we had our first range here. We had another range right in this area, and then we can come right into this big range right here. Now, I just traded that whole entire area in our no trade zone on the NQ, and I did that again because we only have 30 minutes, and sometimes it will just sit here in range like you see in this area, which is more than 30 minutes. So that's why I was giddy to just get in there and trade. I wanted to take trades on our first day of the live, especially I was streaming it also. So now that we're coming in, let's just act like you guys are just waking up. You're coming into the markets, right? You want to, let me remove everything I have on here, and we will start afresh and anew. I'm not going to remove these. I don't want to go back and do everything, but, well, you know what? Let's just do it. Remove all. I saw somebody said I'm trading MES, not something. Yeah, the MES is okay, but the MES doesn't have the liquidity and the volume that the MNQ does. So it, you know, sometimes, like, especially in these trading ranges, right? Let me pull up the MES chart. All right, when you look at the MES chart, I just don't, I like the opportunity to make bigger money, okay? So with the MES, when you have these ranges that you do, right, your take profit, like if we were going to trade, let's just say, for example, if we traded this breakout, okay, let's just say we traded this breakout, and again, we're taking quick profits, right? Even during this training, because the market is not giving us what it typically does. You know, I'm kind of upset in a way because some of these other big YouTubers, I'm flattered, but some of the things I've taught you guys in the last couple weeks, it's almost word for word that they came out with Friday, right? And one of them came out Thursday, another one Friday, then there were two more, even on some of my shorts, the things I talk about in my shorts. And I was like, I said to myself, well, I'm flattered, you know, but on the other hand, if you have such a large following and you're running around copying other people's content, well, then what are you charging people for? Are you charging them for your knowledge, or are you charging them for stuff you're scattering around, stealing from other people, right? So, yeah, I was kind of like, that's on a whole nother subject, but I'm flattered. If you guys are watching my videos, you've come to the right place. But if I continue to see you copying my content, I'm going to call you out live on my channel. So that's a no-no. All right, so anyway, right here you would have had your first bar, right, to break out. You could have entered on this bar. This would have been a pretty big bar to enter on. This would have been your better entry with your stop right here. But now let's look at, if we would have entered right here, you would have entered right here at the price for, let's say, $64.75, and we would have only captured, let's just call it $3,640, okay? 41, 42, 43. I'd have been looking to take profit, you know, relatively quickly without looking left, only because of the size moves that we're getting on these ranges. Now, let's look left. All right, so that, you know, I would have called this line right here. So let's just put that line on there. All right, and let's look at how that compares to where I said we would take profit. All right, it's almost identical. Okay, so that's where I wouldn't even been looking to ride it that high, because that's where our first ceiling is, right? So you have a very tight profit range, right? there's not a lot of room to run in the MES, in my opinion. Okay, so you're looking here, your entry 40, 42, like a $10 profit. You get $5 per dollar move, right? And especially with all the tightness in the ranges, in my opinion, you're better off trading the NQ or the MNQ. All right, I'm not saying you can't make money in the MES. You absolutely can, but you don't have as much room as far as dollar amount goes to make the kind of money you can in the MNQ. And the MNQ, with that extra space, you can, you have that wiggle room to adjust your profit target, if that makes sense to what I'm saying. Because the MNQ, the average true range on the MNQ, let's go to the daily. And let's bring that up. Moves about $100 on average. Vice versa, unlike its, big brother, the MNQ on a daily average moves between $300 and $400. So in my opinion, you are limiting yourself to the amount of money you can take, and not only that, the amount of fees you're going to take taking trades on the MES as opposed to the MNQ, right? Let's say we took that trade for a $10 profit. Well, then you got the fee. And in here, you're not going to have as many good areas to trade to maximize your profits and take less trades. All right? Hopefully that makes sense. I saw it come up somewhere. I don't see it in the comments in the live area. But I did see that comment come up. So if that makes sense, that's why. Because you don't have the profit potential in the MES as you do in the MNQ. And you'll end up taking a lot more trades and paying a lot more fees as opposed to just trading the MNQ. Right? You're not going to have any issues with liquidity getting in and out because it is the MES. Right? But, the MEQ is more heavily traded than the MES. So if that makes sense, I hope that helps of why I don't. And I'm not saying don't trade it. If you like trading that's your personal preference. Right? But for me and my group, I chose the MNQ just for those reasons I just stated. So let me jump back over there. So again, let's just say we did that on the MNQ. All right. And we ran this over here. That's 90. And then, so you're looking at a $20 move as opposed to a $2 move. All right. So you have a $40 potential on the MNQ. Right? $40 versus a $10 move. So does that make logical sense to you? So you're paying the same amount of money to trade the MES as you are the MNQ. So why would you pay the same amount of money to make, a third of what you could make in the same exact trade on the MES, right? The MES, your max profit was $10. On the MNQ, your max profit is $40 in that same exact range, right? In that same small amount of space. So that's why we're trading the MNQ and not the MES. I really hope that helps and that explains it. And I'm not even sure if you were asking that. And if you want to continue to trade that, that's totally up to you. You could take what you're learning here and apply it there, but just be aware that your profit potential, you're limiting yourself to the amount of money you're going to make on each trade. All right, so we missed this trade. So you coming in for the day, you want to get set up. Let's go ahead and set up our charts. What are we going to do? We're going to start out on the daily time frame. All right. On this daily time frame, I'm going to get rid of these. Thought we already did. On the daily time frame, we're going to go ahead and mark off. We do have a trend form or a trend channel, right? But we're going to mark off that channel. Turn on that line to the downside only, to the bottom of that channel only. Next, we're going to mark off June's low. That's going to be another major area. This is June's low right here. We're going to change that to red. And we're going to hit apply and save. Now we have June's low. Now let's open this up so we could really look in here and see. Now let's move this up to get it just below right here. Okay, when we're heading to the upside, and this only applies to the upside, I'm really not looking to capture that entire tail to the bottom of the wick. Only when we're going to the downside do I like to catch that whole momentum when we're drawing those lines. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm going to mark off one more on here because I think they possibly have the potential to not fit our charts when we go back. But let's just throw this on there. Now we're going to come on down. We got our lines marked off. We have 2 resistance areas above. We're not going to do a support yet on that time frame. Let's go to the 30-minute. See how everything looks. Looks good. Not bad. So now let's go ahead and draw from Friday and mark this out to the upside. Let's go ahead and mark this out. And I'm going to put it, well, I'm going to put it right here, right where that candle just formed. All right, so now we have, you can see we're kind of in a wedge, another wedge. We've kind of wedged a few times already this morning, and we'll talk about that. Let's jump down to the 5-minute. And now everything moved on us. So let's move it back. And now you can see a wedge forming even a little bit better. I never did get around to calling them to ask them why that keeps happening. I don't know if I'm missing something, but we really shouldn't have those issues where your trend lines are moving like that. It should automatically upload. Alright, so let's draw off on the 5-minute chart our area of resistance, which we are now right in. Notice I didn't draw the overshoot, right? This was our major area. This is where the most 5-minute candles touched. Okay? And that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for the candles that broke outside of that area. Alright? You're only looking for the most touches. Alright? So don't go by the big candles that lead out of it. Only go by the most touches. So we're still going to mark this off as red because it's a resistance area. Now we're going to draw our support level to the downside. And what are we looking for? The area with the most touches. We're not looking for that overshoot. So this is the area we're looking for. Come on. All right, and then if you want, let's just go ahead and draw for the sake of it, because typically on the downside, let me get this done. And I'm going to turn on the A ray on each one. And what that means is it's going to extend it all the way to the right for you. And that is our major area. Okay, so now we're looking good. Let's just grab one more line and we're going to go right from here right up through this area. All right, so this morning we had this wedge pattern forming here. Then we had another wedge right here. So now that you have your lines drawn, you have your support and resistance, what are you looking for today? All right, what are you looking for today? We're on the 5-minute time frame. Come on. Looking on this 5-minute time frame, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put another area right in this zone. Notice how we flip-flopped here. We used it as support, we broke it, and then we used it as resistance. So this could be a nice little area where we're going to see some pushback from the sellers. And it has been a long weekend. I was working on the videos and all this other stuff all weekend, so I'm kind of pooped, and I've been up early. All right, so let's jump down to the 2-minute time frame and start going over this range right here. All right, so we'll start from the morning, okay? We had this range. We had our first range right here. Our first range. Our no trade zone. This actually wasn't in the top 50%, right? Sometimes you'll get that those big moves like that just out of nowhere. I would personally stay away from those. If we're not in the top 50% of that range, you'd just want to stay away from those bars. You'd have a much better, higher probability trade waiting for those wicks to form and trading it back down into that range. Remember, ranges are magnets, okay? Ranges are magnets. All right, so we had that range. We had another like micro range right in here, trading in the top 50% right here. That was a decent buy opportunity, quick profit. That was another, let's look at the profit. That was another, I think that might be the same area. About $20 move on that one. Maybe that was the same area that you got the $10 move, 90, 100, 110. Yeah, probably 20, 25. The total move, though, from right here, your entry, 90, 110. Yeah, about 35, 40 bucks for the total move. But you would have easily been able to capture that, at least $10 of profit, to make $20. And you would have been easily able to catch a $10 move for $20 in profit, as opposed to the full $2 move of the MES for a $10 profit. All right, so we have our second range that formed right here. All right, let me get it right. We had our second range. This is where I traded there, where we shouldn't have been trading in the no trade zone, right? Now, what in the hillbilly tarnation is going on with these lines? Yeah, this is I gotta call them today. We can't have this happening. Let's actually blow this up big so you could see it. All right. So, how would we have drawn this range right here when it started? This is how you draw the range. When you get your initial pop and your initial drop, that's the beginning of your range. That's where you want to start marking off your range levels. All right, from your initial pop to your initial drop, and you just drag this wherever you want, however far you want to make it. And you don't have the EpiPen, but you can do the same thing with the shapes. Okay? All right, there it is with the shapes. You can double click on it, and you can make the opacity as light as you want or as thick as you want, right? So you can mark off your range like that, and then you can mark off your trade zone with the same tool, with the shape, all right? There we go. Now you have your no trade zone. You can click on it. You can even change the colors on the borders. Maybe to red. That might be a good idea, right? Change those borders to red. You can change the thickness. You can play around with it however you want, and that'll help you to stay out of those areas. And you saw us trade live. If you did, if you didn't, you know, we just jumped in right here, which I shouldn't have done. But again, I'm not explaining that in the live trading. But that's how you want to set it up, all right? And then, again, you want to wait until you're in that top 50% before you start looking for your breakout, okay, which happened right here. This is why I'm teaching you guys this strategy now, because this strategy plays out over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, all day, every day, and you can make a lot of money with this one strategy, all right? Next, we'll talk about runners and all that. Okay, well, like I did this morning with those 3 contracts. You guys are going to have all my knowledge, I promise you. Don't worry. All right, but starting off small, taking the right steps, the way the market is right now, the conditions of the market, you don't want to be looking for what I did here, okay, this morning. I know we're going to run up today. I knew that this morning, said it in the pre-market game plan, wanted to leave that runner on there. But to go live, I have to take it off, right? Because whether I go live or not, it's not going to let you trade leaving a ticker or a thing open there. And actually, now that I think about it, I probably could have traded the NQ and let that run. All right, yeah, so I probably could have done that. But if I traded the MNQ, it would have kicked it out anyway. So anyhow, what do we have now? Now what we have forming right here, guys, is these are one of my second favorite patterns. A nice, high, tight channel, right? A lot of money to be made in high, tight channels, right? We're not going to discuss this right now. I want to keep focused on the wedges, but this is just what's unfolding before us right now, all right? I love these nice, tight channels. When you have wide channels, they're a lot harder to play, right? If it was a wide channel where it went like this and then this and then this and then pulled back to here, they're a little bit harder to play than these nice tight channels. The tight channels you could buy every time it comes and touches that channel. As you can see right here, you could have bought the touch. We would have already been in this right here for taking our profit out here, but this would have been another great entry. Again, we just cleared this major ceiling above us. All right, just like I say in all my pre-market videos, we're looking for that test and retest, right? But again, I said since this morning, I've been saying it for the last few weeks, if we were going to sell off, I think we would have done it already, right? If we do see further sell-off in the markets, I think they're going to wait till after earnings before we start seeing another leg down. I think we're going to recover a decent amount here, but we'll find out once we get into that level that's up above us. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for this the 11,200 area, right? And I think we might have that marked off here. I did this morning. We got the 120, yeah, so we got it marked off, right? This is where we're looking to head, okay? These are the 2 areas I'm looking for, and if we break through those areas, our next potential target zone is going to be up 11,600, around that area, that general area. All right, but right now, you know, it's too far, even if we wanted to take a trade, right? We have too much space between the 200, the 20, and the price. But like I said last week, man, when the Bulls get control, right? When we're looking for these reversals, which is why I love it. In my opinion, they take the elevator up also, right? They like the way it's stated on Wall Street is the Bears use the elevator, the Bulls use the stairs. But like I said last week, you know, most of the people, traders out there, and again, our money is a very small percentage of what's happening right now, right? Just like I was saying the other day, when they're accumulating, this is called an accumulative phase right here, okay? This is where they're adding money, right? And then they're testing the waters, right? And they're adding big money. They're adding big money, right? Slowly causing the price to go up. And that's what we're seeing today. That's what I told you all this morning. I think I mentioned it over the weekend, right? We had the big sell-off. And is big money, if we're going to continue the downtrend, going to keep selling, right? No, they're not. They're always going to bring it back up because they don't want to sell low, right? That's not the objective of the markets. And guys, this is true in any market. You go to your favorite stocks today, they're all going to be going up, right? They all look identical to the NQ does right now. Every single stock out there. They're all going to open up the same. Not every one, but the ones followed by the NASDAQ or the MES. Give me a second here. All right, so we have that really strong move there. We already have so now we don't have any wedges. Now we are in breakout mode, right? We went up, we retested, we went up, we broke through that, retested it. So now we're looking to be buyers, right? Where's our next area that we're going to want to go to? We just looked at that. I just want to look out here and confirm to the left. Make sure we're not missing anything. And this is why I like to draw these lines. If you watch that pre-market prep, we probably had all this in there already. But I like to draw these really small just so we could see them. All right? Just so we could, enough to see them on the right-hand side. And I know we just came here and drew this out and said not to include that. Don't include that in this big thing. But now that we don't have, when we're looking left and we don't have nothing there, they're not major areas, but they will have some effect. Just like you saw right here, right? You can expect to get a little bit of resistance in that little area. So the only thing we have to look at right now, right, we don't have any ranges now. And, you know, I wasn't expecting to see too many today because, like I said this morning, you know, I was looking for us to have a really nice move to the upside today. If you haven't watched that pre-market prep, go ahead and watch it. Now, we might see short, small, little breaks. All right, remember, when the stock makes a big move like that, think of yourself as you just ran around the block. All right, let's say you just started at your house and you ran around your entire neighborhood, right? You're going to want to take a break, right? Same thing is true when you see big moves. When the stocks make big moves, they're just like humans, right? They get tired, they get exhausted, they want to rest, all right? Now, whether it rests for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, okay? Whether it rests in a range before its next leg up, right? I taught you that last week. The market will range and make a big move. It will range and make a big move. Sometimes it will just make a big move, range really quick, make a big move, range really quick. make a big move, right? These are your measured moves, 1, 2, 3. All right, so the market's not going to continue just to go straight up. It's always going to want to rest. Now, with that said, like I said before, some days you will see those days. They're not very often, but they do happen, right? Where sellers are trying to call the top at every level. And I imagine you're going to see that today, which is what's going to cause this bullish momentum to the upside, is because you're going to have all these sellers trying to short. And I'm not talking about big money. When I'm talking about big money, I'll let you know. I'm talking about retail traders trying to call the tops, trying to short in every area, calling the tops. That's what causes these big moves. And when the smart money is already in, here's the kicker, guys. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. When the smart money is already in, right? When they're already in, the market makers are just going to let us do the work for them, right? They're going to let the buyers just pile in and short this thing up to the next level, even past that, up to the next level. They don't have to do anything except make their clients money who are already in down here, right? They've already been accumulating this all morning, okay? They've been accumulating. This is an accumulation state, all right? They've been buying this all morning, right? They've been buying this on the pullbacks, right? So they're not going to mess with it. They're just going to let us do it to each other, if that makes sense, all right? So think of it. Think outside the box when it comes to the markets, all right? So that's what causes those rare days where it flies away, right? When we do it to ourselves. So we missed our entry there again. And again, I'm not looking to trade. I don't see anybody in here. I don't know if anybody's here or not. But if you got any questions and you're here, just let me know. But we got that strong bullish momentum to the upside. Again, what we would be ideally looking for is a retest here and then a continuation. All right, I'm long biased today. We had some earnings already come out today, I do believe. So that's what we're looking for today, guys. I don't see anybody in here, so I'm not going to stick around. I see you in here, Bocce, but okay, I do hear you. Do you have any questions? I don't mind staying in here with you until 9:30. Ask away. I'm yours. Because I kind of covered a lot again today and kind of wishy-washed around again. But anything you want me to cover today or go over again? I can't hear you. Let me make sure my microphone's connected. That could... Not my microphone, my speaker. Yeah, it's on. Let me go in here and... I don't even see you in the... I can see that you're here, but it doesn't show me that you're in the group. Because typically I'll see you on the left-hand side. But no, I can't hear you at all. I don't know if you have your microphone muted. Okay, yeah, and I'll stick around with you. Ask away. I saw that you were here, but it wasn't showing, which is weird, because usually it'll show me in the general tab to the left when people are actually in the group. And when I have the text message thing open, I can't see, like, your little picture, so I didn't know if anybody was here, but I think there might be somebody on YouTube watching. the China and it just all depends. I mean, like, I'm sure if we came down in here, we could mark off these levels absolutely 100%. Like this level right here to the downside. I'm just not too keen on, the downside for today. But yes, I mean, you could absolutely mark off like this area right here for a potential. Again, when you're marking it off, you're looking for the most touches in both directions. So there's your perfect, which once was resistance is now support. Absolutely. So yeah, that definitely you can mark that off. 100%. My favorite time is the London Open. I don't know why, I just love that London Open. Again, here are the trades that I took today. Apparently I got up a lot earlier than I thought I did. And then I got breakfast. But there was my first entry. And then on that London Open, I actually wasn't expecting that on the London Open. All right. So that right away, that kind of like, I was like, all right, there's no way they're going to play these games today. But, that was probably just a nice liquidation break. This is what I think it was, all right? Because of this massive sell-off, right? Because of the massive sell-off, you have a lot of traders. Remember I said there's not much manipulation in the London markets as there is here. All right, so with that massive sell-off and the amount of traders that trade in the London versus, the American Bell, all right, all that bullish traders, they're not very experienced traders, so they're just automatically shorting it. They'll let them do that for, the fun fact of whatever. Whoever would have been bullish, again, they would have saw that. It's a money game, right? It's a manipulation game. Oh, sorry. I don't really... The best thing I could do, the way to say it is, just be with us live every day and you'll start understanding what I talk about, right? And you'll start understanding, like, how the market manipulation is done, how it works like that, but that's why that didn't scare me, because I nobody has a crystal ball, but like I said, you do this long enough and you know how the market works. Just like how your car works, right? When you own your car, you can feel every vibration in it, and you can say, hey, there's something wrong with this. And then, your significant other drives it and says, there's nothing wrong with this thing, it's fine, right? You know it because it's your car, right? The markets are no different. You can read the markets just like you can read the car from doing it long enough. Experience, all right? Putting in screen time is eventually what's going to pay the bills, right? I'm here to help you guys cut that process in half and get you guys on your road to profitability. But again, this is why I kept repeating over and over, if we were going to sell off, it would have happened already. If we were going to sell off, it would have happened already. Looking forward, we're coming into earnings, right? The economy is still terrible, but when has that ever deterred the market, right? I mean, through COVID, the economy was locked down. It crashed in the beginning and just went straight up, right? I mean, you just have to understand, the fundamentals and how the market works and all that kind of stuff. So anyhow, that's why I bought 2 more shares right there. One, we had that nice trend line, which is not set up like this morning, but so we added there, sold here, let the other one run up until this area right in here. We sold it right in here. This is where we were forming that first wedge pattern, right? We had this wedge forming. So we were coming up here and I just sold it because I didn't want to hold it into that. I was going to be going live. I was doing a couple of other things. I didn't want to watch it, in case we did end up pulling back here. I thought at first I was going to have to close it out to go trade on the NQ anyhow. So I'd rather close it out for a nice profit while I was gone for that time period than to let it run. You know what I'm saying? Run without eyes on it, if that makes sense. Now let me look and see what you said again. Hang on. No, I'm not leaving yet. I just wanted to read what you were saying. Yeah, I bought that this morning, and that's why I actually got up. I was gonna do a live last night, talking about this morning, but I was just so tired. You know, I worked most of the day, and then we went and watched movies and options. Right, you can make really good money, and I just want you guys to see the potential of what you can do, especially when the market is good. All right, I want you guys thinking like that. You know, when the market is good, because you know right now we're having moves, but with all the up down sideways action, you don't really want to risk it taking big positions. You know, get in and get out. That's really what I want you guys to learn right now: is getting in, getting out with profitable positions. All right, make your quick money, your quick entry, quick exit with the range strategy. All right, you have the whole rest of your life ahead of you. Don't worry about making until you're ready to go live. Now, on the other hand, if we're live and I know that we're going to see a nice big move like I knew this morning, yes, I'll tell you. I'll tell you the night before, right? But we're not trading live. A lot of people don't even have their platforms up and running. But I took it this morning. You know, I put it in the pre-market game plan. But yes, when we go live, yes, we'll capture moves like this in the small account. Absolutely, we will. We're not just going to be taking, trading a little range breakout. We could even trade in this area. But I don't want you guys, when we trade live, I want to stay live together. All right? When we go to that live account, if you don't want to lose money, you got to listen to what I'm telling you. All right? You got to trade with me and then go trade the rest of the day on the simulation account. But if you start going in and trading on your own, I just don't want to be the guy to say, well, I told you not to do that, right? Not until you are 100% comfortable with not only this range strategy with which we're in, but several others that I'm going to teach you, and until you get comfortable with how the market moves. All right? So the longer you can practice on your own, even on the simulator, look for your ranges. That's what I want you focused on now, because now we are in a range-bound market, right? The market's just kind of moving sideways. It's bouncing up. It's bouncing down. Learn how to trade those ranges. Trust me, because when the market does finally turn around, and finds a clear direction which way it wants to go, yeah, the overall big picture is down right now. But if you look at the overall, last couple of days, right, we're not seeing those clear moves, right? We did have a really nice move down here, since what? Not even. This was the low of June where we got that bounce continuing down in the downtrend. All right, but just like the last couple of days when we've been going live, we've been in this consolidation. All right, we've been in all this consolidation, right? We get those big moves, but they're happening when we're not live, right? And then we're just range bound more often than not. So that's why I want you guys to focus on trading those ranges only right now, right? Once you guys can master those ranges, and then we start moving on, and I'll start making videos going live a little bit later on in the afternoon. Remember, I want to keep these short now because I'm building that boot camp. All right, so slowly together, I'll get you guys to where you're going to be, right? And then you can trade all day. You can catch these massive moves. You guys will be well on your way, right? But for right now, you're learning. If you want to learn to be profitable, just take it slow, right? You got the whole rest of your life ahead of you. Right, so now look what we're doing here. Like I said, are we going to pull back to here? Or are we just going to pull back to the 20? This is a very powerful range. All right, so to pull back down to here, I don't think we're going to see it. But we're so close to the bell now. Now that you're still here, let's go ahead and do our 8:30. And I don't even think today we're going to need it, but our 8:30 to 9:30 range. And that's a little bit far, but there's our 8:30 to 9:30 range. You know, again, the upside potential is there, but what do you think they'll do first? Let's go look. Where is our overnight low from Friday? Now I just removed everything again. That's all right. We already had it on there. We know where we're at. So where is Friday? Here's Friday. Here's Friday's close. So right now we're 100% net long, right? So the higher probability trade when you're 100% net long, right? If big money wants to get more money in here, they're going to bring it back down, right? 10, 14. So here's Friday's close right here. So right now the market is 100% net long. That's an imbalance in the market. The market does not like to be in balance. Now, does that mean that we're going to come back down here? Absolutely not. Right? I said we do have those days. I mean, smart money could have already had all they want to put in. They could have put it in the overnight hours. Right? So we may not come back down at all. I'll stay on here a few minutes extra. But the higher probability trade would be to the downside. All right? It's in line with the overall market direction. Right? We're 100% net long. The higher probability trade would be to the downside. Now, could we pull back? Rope in all of those, you know, those bullish people that are out there? Do we want to trap those bulls? Let's see. I'll stay here with you live. Let's just mark. Here's our 8:30. Did the bell ring? I don't have anything on. No, it's 9:28. All right, so let's just sit here and see what we do. All right. I am more long biased today. Not more, but I'm long biased today. All right, but does that mean we're not going to get pullbacks along the way? Does that mean they're not going to rip it back down? We're 100% net long right now. But again, we have this massive bullish momentum right now, right to the upside. We broke, we retested. And I don't have my lines. I cleared them. I didn't mean to clear those, but we cleared them. So let's just sit here for the bell, see what we do. If they do bring it down, they're not going to bring it down all the way to the bottom, right? I doubt we're going to see that at all, but this will be our first area that we're going to look for, which you should have on your screen. All right, we could possibly come here. And possibly here, but again, the overall odds, all right, this is a game of odds and high probabilities, right? That's all this is. What are the odds? What are the probabilities? Couple of seconds to the bell. What do you notice? Check this right here. What do you see? We're making higher highs, but lower lows, right? On the RSI. What do we call that? Divergence. Right, and here we go, ripping to the upside. I'm going to see if I can't get a short in right there for that quick ride back to the downside. But that's a lot of bullish momentum right there. Right? Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, how the shorts are going to try and jump in there. So we just took a nice trade right there. But again, you never want to fight that strength, right? And the fact, let's see what the next few bars do. But, you know, we are 100% net long. But like I said earlier, there are those days, and I felt all along that today could possibly be one of them, that we're not going to come back down, right? We're just going to continue higher. You know, I said my feeling is they've been adding all morning. They're already in this, and they're going to let the games begin, right? Now, I think that's probably right in that area where we're going to see some resistance, right? We have this area here. But like I said, we have all those areas marked off, guys. That is what you're looking for. Big, big, big bullish move, right? I wouldn't be looking to short today, even though I shorted. But again, that's on an overextended bar, right? We'll see if we can short another little scalp right here before we go. Get one last short in. Now notice the profit. Well, what is my parameters set for? But you see how we took those two trades? So we just made $36 on these two trades. Right? I would imagine we're going to see some type of pullback, right? But with that, you have to be able to identify strength in the market, right? And this is an easy way to identify strength. Is a very, very tight range, okay? Even with our 930 box, our hour box, we clearly broke to the ups. Got done talking about it. Some days we'll have those days, like today, where we're not going to see any pullback. All right, so if you guys have watched this all the way through, that's why the pre-market game plan that I give, watch it, all right? I've always referred back to that throughout the day, okay? Just like with our live trading, I'll come back a few hours later in the day, and I'll say, remember this morning, I told you we were looking to stay within this range the whole day, right? And we did just that. So it's really important, guys. Watch the videos I'm putting out there. I'm not putting them out there for me. I'm putting them out there for you. And I know some of you trade options, right? Today could have been a good day for you to go long on some options if you wanted to, right? Again, I'm not telling you to go long. That's a decision you have to make. But like I said this morning, I'm looking for that move to the upside today. We did a lot of selling off. The overall direction is still down. And what's happening now is exactly what I said, right? The bull, it's causing a short squeeze. All the bears trying to call these tops, right? All the bears trying to sell this. And it's not happening, right? That's your short squeeze. Right? That's your short squeeze. That's how they happen. Yes, I scalped them both to the short side, but that's based on the extended bar, right? It's not based on what's actually happening. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. 9:34. Thanks for joining. God bless y'all. See you tomorrow.